Yeah.
All right, guys, we are live. Episode 33 of the Shooter's Mindset. We're here with the president of Patriot Cases.net, Barack Wilson. We're going to introduce him here in a second here. My co-host will be back again. Team Springfield. Dustin Plouffe is in the house. How's it going, Dustin?
What's up, guys?
We're experiencing a lot of audio issues again. Got caught up in looking at a place for a wedding, and I barely made it in here. Hence why we're here 20 minutes late starting. So you know how the guys really don't give a crap, but the girls want you there, and they're gonna beat you down, and you're not going to the next match if you don't be there. So that's exactly the boat that I'm in, guys. So maybe some of you guys have been there and done that before and know how I feel. Well, we got some interesting stuff. We got.
If they ain't happy, we ain't happy.
Yeah, if they ain't happy, right. I got some cool stuff here. A few weeks ago, we posted up a few things on my Patriot Cases, and we're gonna go up. We're gonna do a lot of getting into detail of what goes into this product and why should you have it. And we have the best person here to go over that stuff. Also, we got a nice little AR goodies that I got like yesterday. So it still has that new AR smell. It's right there. I haven't shot it yet. It's a TTI AR TR1 package. So I'm pretty excited about that. But the president of PatriotCases.net, Barack Wilson's in the house. Barack, thanks for joining us.
How's it going, Anthony? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing all right. As you can see, we're running a little late, and you heard the story.
Yeah.
But Dustin, how's the weather up there, man?
Not too bad right now. It's been up and down. It'll be 60, 70 one day, and then today it was like 46, and then one day it'll be 70, and then the next day we'll have 2 inches of snow. So it's Missouri. It happens.
Yeah, we had you had a little shoot with our co-host, or we call it a special co-host, Kelly Samsel. You guys took a lot of pictures and shot a little 3-gun out there. So the weather has to be improving if you're getting out there and doing that.
Yeah, the 2 days before that it was like 65 and 70, and then that day it was literally 32 degrees outside. So we picked the worst day to meet up and go out. But we had some fun, shot a lot of rounds downrange, and got some good pictures from Greg Skaz Photography. And those will be trickling out, I'm sure, over the next year or something.
Well, yeah, he put a lot up on the Facebook page already, guys. I've seen. But let's get into it here. Barack, you've been in this industry for 20 years. It's a long time. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and how this all got started.
Well, basically, 20 years ago, joined my family company. We had one small pistol case slash night vision case that we were providing to the military for PVS 7B night vision goggles. And so we saw that the military was making the change from metal containers to plastic. One, because of shipping weight and durability. So, but two, for cost. And so over the years, we did a number of things with the military, primarily with mainly toolboxes and night vision equipment. Then we got into basically my part of it was to integrate our company into the firearms industry. A lot of companies provided their rifles and pistols and whatnot in cardboard boxes, and end users just wanted a little bit more. So we, through years, designed different sizes, different dimensions, and built molds to injection mold plastic cases for different applications within the industry.
Very, very nice. And we're going to go into a little bit more detail on why should you, because I mean, let's face it. In my opinion, they're not the cheapest. You are going to spend a decent amount of money on this stuff, but you figure you're not. Let's take a Glock for example. Let's say you spend $500 on a Glock, but then you want to go ahead and buy a $15 case to fly across the country to protect that Glock. And if it's a competitive, Glock like I have, it's not $500 anymore. It's actually $1,000.
Right.
So, why lowball the protection to protect your $1,000 piece? I am known to be cheap a little bit. But I talked to some of my buddies. Richard White was one of them, and they all direct me to Patriot Cases. We customer service, just to speak a little bit on that. We flew out to Massachusetts IDPA Indoor Nationals, and I called them up, and I'm like, dude, we needed a 2-day shipping FedEx to get the case here. I mean, I think he got it done exactly on time. We got the case here. It arrived the day I was supposed to fly out. It got here that noon. I was flying out at like 6 at p.m. It got here perfect timing. I was starting to shake a little bit. I was kind of a little worried. I didn't think it was going to get here, but it got here on time. And this is here's the one that we got here. This is a dual pistol case. It holds 2 and 5 magazines. Let me see if I can give you guys a little bit of inside view here.
You got a van of it for us.
Yeah, there it goes. And, you fit your both Glocks here. And these are pre-cut. So there's a lot of companies out there that you have to cut your own foam, and that kind of takes time. Not only does it take time, it looks a little sloppy. When you do it, some people kind of just take their pocket knife and start cutting away at stuff, and it just looks a little weird. And this is cut with the mag well, so he can do it all with the optic, the mag wells, the oversized stuff on the open guns. This is cut for Glock magazines with base pads on them. So you guys can see how nice this stuff is. So you get what you pay for, and this right here is no doubt top of the line. And after one trip, JetBlue, we'll talk about some of the airline safety rules and airline approved cases in a bit. But this thing actually, your cases get beat up. They just take these things and they throw them around to their buddy. They put them on this, they put them on that, and then it goes on the plane, and it just gets tossed around. So anything that's, I can imagine anything that's not as hardy as this type of plastic, and we'll probably get into exactly, I don't even know if it's plastic or what would you call it, the scientific term, but you can see a lot of scuff marks. I mean, so if you put it in anything else, I'm pretty sure that case would have got destroyed, and you wouldn't have been able to reuse it again, or your guns would have got damaged in the mix. So let's talk a little bit about this one you made for me, Brack. What was this one all about here?
What we did with yours basically is that interior, excuse me, well, we'll start with the outer shell. The outer shell is injection molded. It's polypropylene. The case is airtight, watertight, chemical resistant, has trigger latches on it, so it's easy to open and close. It's got 2 molded holes for locking for padlocks. The interior, what we did with the interior, the cutouts, is basically you were talking about the soft foam that people will cut and it tears up, and some people, sometimes you'll see in the stores, the big box stores, they'll have the pick and pluck foam, which is pre-scored square foam plugs that you just pick out. That foam's it's pre-cut, so basically if you were to do that and you put your gun in there, if it moved around any, like what they were throwing it with the case, it's just going to help that foam tear more and more and more. And then it's just, now you're going to have to buy replacement foam. So that soft foam is called polyurethane. Polyurethane it easily rips, but it's also will deteriorate to cleaning oils and solvents that you use with on your firearms. So what you'll get then, and you may have seen it already at some time, is little shards of gray foam that's everywhere. Gets into your optic, gets into your parts of your gun, and when you clean it in the gun, you'll see those little parts in there. We don't use any of that here. Basically what we do is mill standard 2.2 pound polyethylene, which is it's very dense foam. It's easy to cut straight lines with because it's density, but it's impervious to oils and solvents, which means it won't dissolve, it won't get softer. and it protects the items a whole lot better. Most of your custom fitted rifle systems that you see, or any type of NVGs, 7Bs, 14, things like that in the military that you see, are cut out of 2.2 pound polyethylene. Um, what we did with yours is 4 pound microcell polyethylene. Basically, it's the top of the line that you can get, and we cut yours on a 3-axis CNC table. And basically, what I did is you sent me photos of your 34, and I've got some imagery software that basically, rather than you having to send me your pistols right away, and then us do the drawings and everything else, you sent me drawings with an extended tape measure in it, and I inputted it into my imagery software, and then that in turn went into the CAD program, to our software there. So we were able to cut that on a router with that particular foam, and we offer a lifetime warranty on the foam as well. So,
Wow,
yeah,
that's nice.
you never hear anybody do that, but we do that here. If it tears or if solvents deteriorate that foam, we'll replace it. And then another little touch that we did on the interior, we do for that high-end case, is we have a laser etcher. So what we did is we put the shooter's mindset and then put your name laser etched on a tab on the interior. So we do that for the higher end cases that we do.
Yeah, very nice. I got a question here from Brian. Brian says, what would a case exactly like Anthony's cost to the general public?
$175. That's what the case with the lifetime warranty, the foam with the lifetime warranty, laser etched with your name on the tab, and an inhibitor plug, which is basically it's a small plug that exhumes oil particles, so the pistol won't, none of your parts inside will rust. It basically inhibits rust.
Nice.
Very nice. We're getting some comments that, Barack, your mic is very low, so let's try to adjust that if you can. We'll go into the giveaway here because we have a giveaway every show. Guys, try to keep the live questions rolling as we try to fix that mic issue. I can hear him. Let's try to put your volume up on your computer. I can hear him. He is a little low, but I can hear him pretty clear on my end. So let's see if we can get that worked out here. But the giveaway here today, we're going to have 2 winners. We got our Rand CLP, a 2-ounce bottle of that stuff. As usual, that's from randsbrands.com. I believe they're still holding a 20% off discount code for you guys. Go to randsbrands.com if you're not lucky enough to win this. There's like a St. Patrick's Day type of 20% off discount code. So if you're not lucky enough to win the bottle, you can still get 20% off. You can shoot over to Rand's Brands Facebook page and you can find a discount code over there. So go ahead over there, give them a like. Barack's here. We got Patriot Cases, obviously. So we're going to give 2 AR cases away. That's big time. So you guys don't, I know there's a lot of you guys asking for these cases. You guys get a chance to win one here today. So if you guys have an AR-15 rifle, we're going to give two cases away from patriotcases.net. TheShooterSource.com has donated a T-shirt and a couple stickers, maybe a patch here and there, a little swag pack from TheShooterSource.com. And we're going to throw in a Training to Win DVD from Ben Stugger. I recently took one of his competitive pistol classes last weekend. And so we got a couple of those to throw in. That's a $40 value right there in itself. So Training to Win DVD from Ben Stugger, National Production Champion. 2 winners. Go to enter, comment below. Just say enter me in the giveaway. You can also shoot over to the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page and type on our wall, enter me in the giveaway. We'll select 2 winners after the show tomorrow morning-ish. Sometimes I get kind of lazy editing the show and I don't tally up all the votes fast enough to get it out as soon as we're done with the show. So 2 winners there. PatriotCases.net donating 2 AR cases, man. That's a sweet deal.
Yeah,
So,
you can't go wrong there.
no, you can't, man. So if you got a carbine match, if you shoot an all carbine match, or you want to travel to the range, You know what I mean? You can put it in there. We're going to talk a little bit about long-term storage. So if you have maybe an AR, you don't have a safe, you only own one AR here and there, you can store them in these cases, and we're going to show why they're good for that. So let's just kind of get in there. Inside this case, and I asked you this earlier in the pre-chat, I had no idea what it actually was. It looked cool. And I knew it had some relevant reason why I was in there, but there's an inhibitor in here. Let's throw this up real quick. Right here, there's like it almost looks like a little button that you can twist. And there's my laser etched name in there and the shooter's mindset. But let's talk about what that inhibitor does for long-term storage with this case.
Well, basically, the inhibitor is good for, I think it's up to a year. Basically, that since the case is airtight, you shouldn't have any type of issues at all with rust. I never have in 20 years of storing firearms in the cases. And theoretically, you could you could put a wet gun in there, and if there's no air to oxidize the water, the moisture, then you're not going to rust. But that oil, the inhibitor, just basically exhumes into the case and keeps everything, keeps rust from happening. And I think it's up to a year, and then needs to be replaced every year. And I think they're like $5 or $10.
Nice. Can you get those through you guys, or are they available?
They're available. Okay. I think they're on our website. If not, I need to put them up. But normally we only put them on. We only put them in the higher end cases that we route the 4-pound foam on our CNC. Our standard setups that we send out, we don't put them in, but we normally use 2.2 pound polyethylene, like I said, which is the mill standard stuff. And in fact, I don't even, of all the firearms that I own and rifle systems, I don't even have a case with the foam that's cut out like you've got, Anthony. All my stuff is in the standard 2.2 pounds. So it's really the way to go. I just haven't had taken the time to do some of my items myself. We stay pretty busy on that table. We do a lot of tool inventory kits for the military. So basically, what we do is we put colored sheets underneath where the cavities are. So basically, if somebody's working on a particular an airplane or whatever else, of course, an airplane, they don't take off until all the tools are accounted for. But basically, they can look into the cavity. If they see a blank slate there, then they know that they're missing something, and that's where we kind of got doing the firearms with it. So it's worked out pretty great.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Dustin, you got a couple on Facebook page, right?
Yeah. For custom cuts, foam inserts. I know you said that Anthony, sent in a picture. Is there any drop down, or do they have to specify what make and model features on their gun or their gear on the website?
Not really. I mean, basically in the comments section, if they're placing an order, they can put what specs they have. If they've got a Magpul PRS, or if they're running a 15-inch handguard or whatever else. I mean, they can do that. But basically, if they want me to cut and custom cut the items for them, which we offer it, where the individual can just trace and cut their own items. But if they want me to cut them, then I'll get back in touch with them and go over what they've got, and I'll request for some photos. Basically, any photo that they send with an extended tape measure in the shot will do the trick. I mean, we can get pretty close, within a quarter of an inch of all the cavities, of all the angles and everything else, to be able to do it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I did. I mean, I just took this is an iPhone 4S, so the camera pretty much is obsolete on it. I just took measuring tape next to the key parts. So, I mean, they got a cutout for a standard Glock 34 or 17. So if you don't have anything on it, it's a stock Glock, there shouldn't be any issues with sending in pictures or anything like that. But if you have accessories on it, maybe you have these high sights on your pistol. A lot of people have that when they put the RMR on the top of their guns. Or you have a magwell, or maybe an oversized magazine release, or anything that's kind of aftermarket that could cause some fitting issues. You want to make sure you just a standard picture with the measuring tape and 2 different angles, and boom, just send it off, and it gets done. Actually, this fits my Glock magwells perfect. There's a little bit of room, so actually I can probably throw on, because I have a IDPA legal magwell, so those are a little bit smaller to fit in the box, but it has a little bit room there, so I can actually throw on like a bigger magwell on there, and I can still squeeze it. I can still get it in there nice and snug. So it's a good thing that we have a little extra space there.
We have a pretty large library of drawings already. We provide cases to a couple of dozen manufacturers on high quantity stuff. So some companies that send their rifles out or pistols or whatever else may already come in our cases, and then so if you're running just a Barnes Precision, or let's say you've got a Barrett 95. I mean, we've already got the drawings for it. So unless like you were saying, unless you've got something aftermarket on there, if you've added on different set, some type of bipod that may be different than what we run for the manufacturer, then we can make some adjustments, modifications to it. But for the most part, I'm not going to say we have everything that's made, but we're pretty close. So if you can just basically 9 times out of 10, we won't need any photos, but it never hurts to try to get close.
You got to have one of everything, though.
Yeah,
that's the only way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? How Anthony was talking about your magwell, and so for pistols, if you got your case cut for a magwell, then obviously, a firearm that didn't have a magwell would be perfect for it. But say I went from running a attack irons AR to running an attack optics AR, could I call you and say, hey, send me just the foam insert so I could switch my case up?
We can do that, and we do that fairly often for customers. And basically, you're buying a case. It's fairly expensive, so it's a lifelong purchase. I mean, you're buying it one time. Let's just take a rifle case or a 3-gun kit, basically. Let's say that all of a sudden, and those things they're fairly expensive, but the case we use for different applications. We have guys that will have 4 or 5 different sets of foam, but they utilize one case. So basically, depending on what their application is, what they're running, what they're planning on doing that weekend, they may take a set of foam out that runs and then put something else that runs nothing but handguns. So they might have all their pistols and all their mags and everything else set in there, glasses, hearing protection, everything else, and then the next weekend they may put in, their bolt rifle. So they may be, if they're shooting a 300 Win Mag or something. So basically, instead of having 5 or 6 cases, you can buy one case that's going to last a lifetime, and then buy multiple sets of foam. And as long as you go with the good polyethylene is the higher end foam. It's expensive. It's driven by fuel prices. The price is so, but it's definitely worth the money. I mean, everything we do is in the higher end 2.2 pound foam. So. Like I said, yeah, you can buy different setups, and we can also cut the foam here. We don't have to. Let's say, Anthony, you call me up and you've got something you want to put in that particular case. Let's say it's audio equipment or something like that. We can cut that audio. We can cut it in for that, and then you can just move it in and out for the from the case.
Yeah, very nice. So there you go. I mean, we were talking about a little bit. Maybe the price might not be in with some people's budget or whatever like that, but like you said, you drop the money, you drop it once, and you got a case for a lifetime. And then if you do switch pistols up, you go from an XDM. I used to shoot a Glock, now I want an XDM. It's not going to fit in.
That's a wise decision.
Yeah, not. But if I wanted to switch that, then I don't have to spend another $175 on the case. I can just go ahead and call them up, and we get some foam cutouts, and that's it. We swap them out, and that's as easy as it is.
That's right, but keep in mind that what you've got is something that's basically it's customized for that particular setup. Most people that will buy cases, they get it in the 2.2 pound foam, and let's just say you're running a Glock 34, and then you do get an XD. well, then it's just a couple of small modifications that you can make there by yourself into the 2.2 pound foam, whereas the stuff that's cut on the router, on the table, like what you have, that's basically, it is what it is. You're really not going to be doing any modifications to that, but for the standard setups, it does allow you to make some modifications. So even if let's say you have an AR with a collapsible stock and then you go to a PRS stock, well, it'd be fairly easy for you to make a few cuts and modifications to that foam without tearing it up. We have a lot of customers that do that, and we try to offer a number of products that are somewhat general cuts, so people can utilize different firearms when they're going back and forth to the range.
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen our modifications before, so I don't know if you would trust me with a box knife on on doing some stuff. So it would probably get shipped back to you, or just like, okay, send me a new one.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I don't trust myself doing, like people say, like, since I just got an AR, and people's like, well, you got to get a shotgun now, and I'm like, well, and then you do the magazine port beveling yourself. I'm like, dude, I don't trust myself. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a Benelli M2 and just start taking a Dremel to the outside of it. Dude, I just paid $1,200 for that thing. Some people, they just have that, they just know what they're doing and they can do it. I wouldn't trust myself to do it. If I'm gonna spend that amount of money on a shotgun, I think I can spend that amount of money on a gunsmith.
Yeah, that's why I have friends who own companies.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh, shotguns? Yeah, I just send that right down to Dissident Arms. There you go. Take care of that.
Exactly right. We got one here from Brian here, and I think you said what you use. He said, are the cutouts done with hot wire or router?
It's a router. Basically, well, we do different things. I should say, we'll use it's a shot bot. It's a 3-axis router. With a 60-inch reach on it, but we also, for one-offs, for individuals that call up, and it's just going to be a one-cut deal in the standard foam, I've got a jigsaw that I use with a special razor blade instead of a serrated edge, just as a razor blade that keeps the cuts clean, and then I'll use a heat gun on the interior cavities to kind of seal everything up so it doesn't get jagged. For higher-end stuff, like basically we supply a number of cases. The AR case that we're giving away, we do a well over 1,000 of those a month to different manufacturers, and for those that we know we're running the same particular product with the same insert in it or same dimensions and everything, we build a die, and the razor die basically will skive big blocks of foam into different depths. And then we put the foam onto a table and invert the die board and basically stamp out foam just like a cookie cutter. So basically it stamps out each particular thing. So we basically die cut CNC and we do hand cutting as well.
So yeah, they kind of do it all there. And when we were talking in the pre-chat here, I was talking with Barack. We had not much time to talk since we were running late, but some of these manufacturers nowadays, we're not going to call out any names, but you spend $1,000, $2,000, even $3,000 on a rifle or a particular handgun, maybe it's an open gun or something like that, and then they send you the gun in a cardboard box. You know what I mean? So, you figured you're paying a high dollar for, a nice pistol or a rifle, and you get it in a cardboard box with some bubble wrap around it. What are your thoughts? What do you have to add to that, Barack? You were talking to me a little bit about that before the show.
Well, if in my opinion, and I've seen it happen different ways, but in my opinion, you have Remington, you've got Colt, you've got Beretta, you've got companies that are well established that they really don't need to build their brand anymore. They're kind of like McDonald's. McDonald's, they need to just keep coming up with different sandwiches. Everybody knows what McDonald's is. They just need something different. Next they're going to have an ostrich meat sandwich or something, but everybody knows what McDonald's is. For some of the companies now, and especially new companies, that are building ARs, everybody's doing it. I mean, I want to say everybody's building ARs, and the way that you separate yourself is materials, some of the different looks that you may have on it, quality work as well. But you've got to do something to get that consumer off the fence to your product. And that would be, in my opinion, to add a little more value to the dollar. My grandfather used to always tell me that only a rich man can buy junk, because he can buy it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Guys that are counting their pennies, we need to buy something that's nice. We've seen a big, I'm not going to say increase, but we haven't seen much of a let-off from the big rush for some of the companies that we deal with and that we supply our cases to, because one, it adds value. Two, the guys, he's getting he's not having any buyer's remorse. He's spending a lot of money, but he's got a keeper case with the company logo on it. So now everywhere you go to the range or wherever else, you've got that Barnes Precision logo on it. That basically it's going to keep stretching their dollars down the line for years to come. So, the cardboard box thing, you look at it like this. They're spending $10 or $11 on a cardboard box that they know you're going to throw away. So instead of an opportunity to create a new customer, they're throwing away capital. So they're just instead of adding $35 or $40 to the price of the rifle, which you and I were talking about, when you're going to buy a nice rifle, you're not going to balk at $40. That's not going to make you not buy the rifle.
Right.
But there is something that added value may get you off the fence from one brand to the other. So, obviously there's a secondary market, companies that do provide their rifle in a cardboard box. Well, that particular person's got to go out and buy a case. So, there are case companies out there like mine that basically we fill that void that they have. So it's not the end of the world. But I just think that for the money, and for what it can do for them, to put it in an AR in a decent case like what we're providing with right now, is just the way to go. You think about $1,300, and it doesn't matter what you're buying. But if you're a consumer and you're spending $1,300 or $1,400, you don't think of it as $1,319. It's $1,300. And whether
Right.
it's $1,319 or $1,349, you really don't care about those last two numbers. You think it's either $1,300 or $1,400. And so the number counters, the bean counters in these companies are kind of worried about getting the price up. But, the consumers know what a good product is, and you doing your homework. You're not just throwing around $1,200 on something you just walked into the gun store about. So, I can see it both ways. I don't want to bash the companies that don't do it. Certainly, they have their reasons. But I am happy to see companies provide their case, whether it's from me or some of my competitors, but to provide a case to that end user and give them some added value for their money.
Yeah. You do see that. Not only really with firearms companies in particular, but just with stuff in general. And if I'm going to pay for a $200 gun, and there is some $200 guns out there, I kind of would expect it to come in a cardboard case. I'm not gonna lie for that type of price. But if I'm gonna pay, if I'm gonna pay $500, I think that kind of, I think they should be able to, let's say a Glock comes in a decent case for the money. A Glock's not really an expensive gun, but you do get a decent, at least a decent case, and you can use that to take to the, if you own one firearm, you can, take your one pistol to the gun range with that case and probably not having to worry about it too much.
Well, look what Springfield did with the XD. What they did by putting that in a nice case, that's a good case. I mean, it's certainly better than what a lot of companies provide. There's some companies out there that are $3,000 or $4,000 pistols that put them in a $10 case. But look what they did with the XD. They marketed that kit basically as a package And you're getting an added value for your money, and sales went through the roof. It's a great gun and everything else, but to get those amount of sales, hit those numbers over some pistols that are comparable. Um, you know, I think one of the things that they would tell you, even their marketing guys would tell you, is that including the case as a package helped them hit some of those numbers.
Brack, I think we just became best friends.
Yeah.
So, no, and that's definitely true. Every time I show people Springfield stuff, and obviously I'm a little biased, but, and obviously it's not the best holster, not the best case, not the best mag pouch, in the world. But for the average guy getting a gun who doesn't have a holster, there you go. You're already done. You got 2 magazines. You get the 5.25. You already got 3 magazines. Go shoot that weekend. Go shoot your IDPA.
Right.
Talking about shooting matches, Judy over on Facebook said, is there a limit on the length for the 3-gun cases that you can do? I guess she's talking about, and then she said, is it long enough for a shotgun with an extended tube, or I guess a long rifle?
Yeah, there is a limit. Basically, the interior length that we can hold the shotgun is running 50 inches. So if you've got an extended tube that's going to run longer than that, then you'll have to disassemble it, and let me know, and we'll cut an additional slot in there for the tube and spring. But for if you're under 50 inches, then you're good to go for the 3-gun kit, where we lay it in vertically.
Yeah, I saw you did one for Jesse or somebody, where it was like the uppers and then the lowers, and then he had like a shotgun. I don't know if that made the 50-pound limit, but it had mag pouches and like 2 pistol pouches and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I think he said it came in. It was 49 1/4.
Woo! Shaving the sides off the cutting excess foam out.
And I tell you what, sometimes it depends on who's at the gate. I mean, it really does depend. If it's 51, it's not like if it's 51, bells and whistles go off and they can't just let it go by. They're the ones that are looking at the number. And so,
yeah, it is hit and miss.
It is. I mean, I would just say, if it's a pound over, smile and hope they let it go past.
Yeah.
Just start slipping them some 9. You're like, there you go. How many will it be today?
Or that might not work, and it'll be.
Yeah, and you need to come with me to the cavity search room, please.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a hit and miss with that bribe too. We got one here from Stone Guy. Stone Guy, well, he wanted to know how much. I think we covered that. We can get into a little bit more on the 3-gun case, because that's everybody seems to be going that direction. Either you're not shooting it already, or you're going to that sport. But he says, is it legal to fly with, or is it FAA approved?
The 3-gun case it's ATA 300 rated, category 1, which ATA 300 category 1 is a case for 100 trips, which you should be able to handle more than that. I've got some cases that I've had in service, coming on 17, 18 years now. So, and that have flown multiple times. But yeah, the 3-gun kit, it's pretty good to go. It's airtight, watertight, crush-proof, corrosion-proof. It's got wheels and a handle on the opposite end to pull the wheels. It's also got a handle on the wheel end. So basically, if you and I were gonna, let's say we drove to a location and we had some other items that we wanted to carry out to the range with us, you could grab one end of the case, I could grab another end, and we could make one trip. And also, with the handles on each end, it makes it easier if you throw it in the back of a truck or something. You've got easy access to it. You can grab it and pull it. And it also has the handle in the middle, like the suitcase handle. It's got 4 molded holes for locking, so you can lock it. I recommend also locking, with TSA locks, but also zip ties. Utilize the zip ties there as well. The 3-gun kit's, it's unique. There's nothing out there really like it. And that particular case was born. Jamie Franks of Top Shot fame and Top Shot All Stars. He was over at my facility one day. He's from his hometown is next to mine, and actually we went to the same high school, different age. But he was over at my facility one day. We went and had some lunch, and we were talking about the growth of three gun and how it's taking a lot of disciplines and kind of put them into one, and how it's more exciting. A lot of guys are moving from one discipline to another, and maybe going into that, it's going to be all three gun all the time. And we came back and we're kind of thinking about what we could do for that sport that's different, and case-wise. And basically, we came up with the three-gun kit. One of the things we do is, because the shotgun's a little more rugged, it can take a beating. I've got padding on the case wall, glued to the case wall and the ends of the case, and underneath the shotgun. So it's padded all the way around. So it's not like it's banging up against the case wall. But we put it in vertically. That leaves us a lot of room to utilize in different layers. And the bottom layer normally we'll run all the AR mags, your 30-round mags, 40-round mags, 50-round mags, and then run your pistol or backup pistol if you're running two, and then all your pistol mags on the bottom layer. Then what we do is we have another layer, a thin layer of foam, a half-inch layer of foam that goes in between, and on the top layer we'll run the AR. Some people prefer to have their AR cut in, the cavity cut in, with the AR disassembled. This gives them a little more room for protection for their optic. Length is not an issue, so we can disassemble it and stretch it out. Some people just want it assembled because they don't want to mess with it when they get there. But then one other thing that we do that nobody else is utilizing is we've got some special brackets that I install in the lid with brass inserts. And we basically screw 6 brackets into the lid, 3 on each side, and then have Velcro straps that we install to the lid. We put egg crate foam into the lid when we ship it out, but what those straps are for is for someone to utilize to take the egg crate foam out and install like a Safari-Land bag or something. Yeah, I did it in your particular case, so you can carry a soft bag to the range, utilize it there once you're there. We do the same thing with the three-gun kit, so somebody could carry, like I said, a Safari-Land bag is one of the more prominent and popular brands that people choose to go with. But that way you can store the soft bag in the lid. You've got the hard protection when you're traveling, but then when you get to the hotel or wherever you're going to go, a lot of guys will take everything out of the hard case, put it into the soft case, and go back and forth to the range and stages and everything else with just the soft bag.
Yeah, I know you're working with a company that I'm affiliated with here. Yeah. AP Customs. So, and I got the okay from the boys who signed the checks. If you want to talk about that new case, the soft case.
Well, we got a number of things still going. I don't want to really let the cat out of the bag on that yet. So I got to talk to Aaron and make sure I'm good to go on that. I'd rather check with the big cheese myself and make sure.
No worries. Yeah, Jeremy was like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we're doing something with that, and we're getting in with Rhino, basically who's utilizing their handguard, and we've got a particular case that we're doing. It's actually there you go. It's actually the case. One of the cases that we're giving away tonight is that particular case that we're utilizing. It's one of the cases that my manufacturers, a lot of the guys are utilizing with great success. I mean, the end users love it. It's gotten to be where a lot of the dealers that are carrying their rifle, they sell the rifle to the customer, and then they started getting back in touch with the manufacturer to find out, hey, where did that case come from? I want to carry them into the stores too, and offer them for existing customers. So it's a great value added product there to the package.
Yeah, very nice. We got one here from Brian. Rifle Dynamics uses Patriot Cases. He says his AKM has a Patriot case that came from Rifle Dynamics, and he says it's awesome.
Great.
So I can speak for that myself. we can go into a little bit more on. Let's do like traveling on an airline, because that was my first deal. All right, so we're back there. A little connection, a little connection. What else can go wrong during these Google Plus things? Don't we like that? All right, so airline stuff. A couple weeks ago, I go to first airline stuff, get my Patriot case. First of all, what you want to do is probably what you do want to do is check with your airline that you're flying on, because that is they all kind of have their little tweaks to the rule on that. So you definitely want to do that. Like I said, these cases are we discussed this earlier. They are airline approved, but you definitely want to. I would recommend JetBlue, because I flew JetBlue and it was an absolute breeze. There was no issues. You go up there, you sign your name on a slip, a declaration, you put it inside your case, and that's it. They'll actually, is it unloaded? Is there any ammo in there? No. And it just goes in like a checked luggage. You know what I mean? And it's just that simple. It was probably the smoothest thing. I don't know why I was nervous. A lot of people told me, hey, it's no big deal. So in my case, I had a very pleasant and smooth experience with JetBlue. I think there's a couple others out there. I think Southwest is pretty good about it, but definitely check there. This particular case has slots for 2 padlocks, so I just threw in it wasn't even TSSA approved locks. So maybe your airline might make it mandatory that it is TSSA approved lock, so that might be something you want to check. These were just, you had to take a key and open it up. It was just like a regular old master lock. Dustin, you flown with a couple firearms. I know you fly around with yours. Any bad experiences on airlines or any stories there?
Knock on wood. So far, no. If I can drive, I drive, just to save the hassle and headache. No, I'm pretty good. But some of my teammates on Black Rain, they were flying out to the South Carolina 3-gun match, the first match of the year for 3-Gun Nation, and Chris's bags did not show up at the right destination. It went to a very bad city for firearms instead of South Carolina. I went to D.C. And he actually has a photo of him standing out and like on the carousel, and like the baggage guys are like walking by. You can see the cases like going by, and you're like, no, it's right there. I want those. So no, I haven't had anything happen, luckily. So it's one of those things. I'm sure it's just like a DQ with all time. It will eventually happen. But actually, on Facebook, we can kind of go into that. Eric asks, what's the worst one of your cases has been through, and any stories on that?
Well, we've had, as far as cases over the years, we had a Scorpion tank, which was 8,000 kilos. So it's almost 17,000 pounds, run over the case, and it not crush. They did the same thing to another brand, and basically just turned it into toothpicks. But most cases are going to be okay. I mean, if you've got, you see the mill standard cases, probably over the years, in the 20 years that I've been doing it, including night vision equipment, thermal imagers and so forth, and including toolboxes with the GMTK, I'm going to say probably 400,000 cases over the years. You hear all kinds of stories, but that probably would be the most extreme, that it was run over by a Scorpion armored carrier, and it didn't break.
I think that meets my qualifications. If you can run over your tank, I'm like, yeah, it's good. So it falling out of my trunk, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, no doubt. So like you said, you buy once, and you get a lifetime case. I mean, if it can withhold to an armored, tank or an armored truck or something like that, what's going to really destroy the case? And so there we have it. We hit a little bit on the 3-gun case, and which that is perfect. I think what really makes that design is the fact that you can put that Safariland soft case in there, because not too many guys want to be rolling their 3-gun case or we would say kind of a bulky case around. Don't want to be holding all that equipment. You get your soft case from Safariland. They have a good one. I believe it's like $180 for that soft case from Safariland, but it holds the shotguns with extended tubes on it. It's pretty much the ish of soft cases for 3-gun. So that I think that really makes that 3-gun case kit. I mean, it's just all in one. It's right there. Fly with it, carry it. No matter where you go, you got all your gear right there. We had a couple questions here. We're gonna let's announce that giveaway one more time. We're about at the midway point of the show, so for those of you guys just joining us, let's get the giveaway out. We're talking about Patriot Cases. PatriotCases.net is the website. They're donating 2 AR cases, kind of similar to mine, just AR, maybe a little different, but 2 AR cases going out to 2 winners. Rand CLP, RandBrands.com is donating their CLP. Stuff that I use in my firearms. The stuff's reliable. It works. T-shirt and decal from the shootersource.com, and a Training to Win DVD from Ben Stugger. And speaking of Airline, like you said, Black Rain, that can happen with your luggage case with your clothes on it. They lose stuff quite often, so it's not like it says Patriot Cases on the bag that they're gonna lose it and send it off to DC or anything like that. It happens all the time. But Ben Stugger flies back, I believe, to Wisconsin from Florida, and he's waiting for his bag, his firearms. He had what you would call unicorns, which are the Tangfolio Stock 2s, which are almost impossible to find here in the States. But they didn't show up. So once again, it probably went somewhere else. They ended up, I think he had to come back to the airport or something and grab them, but they eventually did track down his firearms.
Jeez.
So, I mean, yeah, it's like I said, like Dustin said, it's kind of a hit or miss. You might have one smooth trip, and then the other trip, your stuff just don't show up on the carousel, and you're screwed, and you get pissed off and all that stuff.
At least it was on the return trip and not the going out there the day before the match,
Yeah,
oh, great,
exactly.
I don't have a gun. Excellent. Let me just go shoot this match now and win.
Yeah, right. So Training to Win DVD from Ben Stugger is going out there. 2 winners. Enter me in the giveaway in the comment section below. If you guys are in the Q&A section, don't enter there, because I think after the show is over and the broadcast is over, that section tends to disappear. So in the comment section below the video, enter me in the giveaway, or shoot over to the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page and post on our wall, enter me in the giveaway there. That's an alternative way to enter. We'll select the winner after the shows. So there we go. Let's jump into the lightning round here. Man, my notes are kind of empty. I kind of slacked off big time. But we got a good lightning round. That's the section that I did fill out of these notes. So this is quick for you, Brack. Just one of the other yes or no kind of answers real quick.
Okay.
If you're traveling or you want some breakfast, are you going to Denny's or IHOP?
Denny's.
Denny's, interesting. I kind of like the IHOP. It's a little bit more pricier. But, I mean, Denny's is kind of like a convenient thing for me. If I'm out of town and Denny's is the only thing in the area, then I'm going there.
I like my breakfast cheap.
There you go. Yeah, they do have some cheap breakfast there at Denny's. An AR or an AK, if you can only have one of those, what are you going with?
I'll go AR.
Yeah, I think we all can agree there. I think the AK has never got chosen.
Not even from a Russian.
Yeah, not even from a Russian. She still went with the AR. That's pretty impressive. The AR. Here, look at this one. Boom! I got to show it again. Sorry. All right. All right, we got a Glock XDM or M&P. If you can only choose one polymer frame pistol, what's it going to be?
I own more Glocks, so I gotta say Glock.
Glocks, man, reign supreme in that category. I gotta agree there. 9mm or 40. If you're only carrying one caliber, what is it?
Probably gonna go with the 40.
Whoa,
Oh,
the 40 is finally chalking what up on the board.
Yeah.
We won't go into why because that could probably cause the spark a debate in itself.
might
But
crash
40
the internet.
Yeah, my question, right? If the zombies are coming and they're outside your window, what gun are you getting? Are you getting an AR, pistol, or shotgun to do the job?
I'd probably go with that with the shotgun, and probably go with that new SRM shotgun with the 4 cylinders, 16 shots. And it's compact. It's only like 22 inches, so you can move with it pretty good. So I'd probably go shotgun.
20. What is it? What was it? 22 rounds of shotgun shells in that, or 16? Or...
That's the X-Rails, the 23.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean that would definitely be the way to go. Get outside but maneuvering through a house or something. I'm thinking something small, but yeah, I definitely, the X-Rail would definitely be the way to go. And that's
And you can make a case for that.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I'm making one from Art tomorrow. He's shipping out to him tomorrow.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
good guy.
So some people will call the X-Rail the sex rail. I know Tischhauser likes to call it that. But I don't know, we're kind of getting a little bit off the lightning round topic here, but how hard is it to reload those X-Rails?
As long as you have the built-in feed ramp, it's just stick it in. I mean, I've seen Jesse do it. Now, unloading it, it's kind of the mother. But yeah, those tubes are not too bad. I've seen them do it a few times.
So it's not that bad to load. The springs aren't that rough or anything like that. So there you go. So it's not that bad of a deal to choose that for the zombies and X-Rail. And you can reload it fairly decent because you figure you got those 23, 24 rounds and you're out. Now you're screwed, because you got to reload it all. But there you go. So
there's just going to be a whole bunch of 3-gunners running around when the zombie apocalypse happens, just being bosses.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Jesse Tischhauser's the new governor, and
Yeah.
Jerry's running around just blowing things up.
Imagine that, dude. Even with a revolver. I mean, not too many people would pick a revolver in a zombie apocalypse, but how fast he reloads that. I think he reloads that revolver faster than I load my Glock, so I don't think it really, probably faster. I think he does do it faster, actually. What do we got here? Big Mac or the Whopper? It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have to go Whopper.
Whopper, interesting. I like them both. I really don't. I really am not a big fast food eater, but I don't mind either or. What do you got on that one, Dustin? Are you going? Wait.
I'd go BK. Got to go with the king.
Really?
Yeah. Just a little high class. It's like going to Walmart or going to Hy-Vee.
Right.
Got to class it up every once in a while. If you're in your PJs, then you go to McDonald's. But
there you
you
go.
put on a suit and tie when you're going to Hy-Vee.
It's interesting stuff here. You learn a lot of stuff on this show. I can tell you that.
That's a quote.
You got little kids, you're going to McDonald's for the Happy Meal, though. That's what you're doing every time.
Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody's Happy Meal beats the McDonald's Happy Meal.
That's right.
So, if Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris get into a fight, who do you have winning that?
Yeah. I mean, I gotta go Chuck Norris, but didn't they already fight one time in a movie where didn't Bruce kill him?
Yeah, everybody's
It's very controversial.
We're talking real life here, but in the movie, of course, it's a Bruce Lee film. I mean, Bruce Lee's not going to get his ass kicked in his own film.
I'm gonna go with Chuck Norris for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a safe play. I mean, I'm a fan of Bruce Lee, but I think it's a safe play. Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi. Yeah, Pepsi.
Wow.
The only reason I don't drink either. I don't drink soft drinks, but I do use Coke to pour on batteries, car batteries, and golf cart batteries to get the corrosion off of it. I mean, you don't even have to scrub it off. All you have to do is pour Coke on there, and it eats the corrosion off. So I can just imagine what it does to your stomach.
Well, I got to change up then, since you're a good Southern boy.
Yeah.
Sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Sweet. I actually, you know what? I normally will get unsweet and then sweeten it myself.
Make it your own.
Some places you go around here, some of the little dives, and we go all the time. It's so sweet, you can't even hardly you can't stand it. I mean, it makes you.
The challenge is on. I can drink hummingbird food, like where you just take like sugar water and you add like 2 drops of like food coloring.
Yeah.
That's how my sweet tea is. There's a reason why I'm in like Tennessee twice a year and Kentucky and Arkansas. So.
I gotta give
It's always the barbecue joints that the sweet tea is the sweetest.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. The last one here for the lightning round. Are you doing domestic or imported beer?
I drink domestic. If I'm gonna drink beer, I'll drink domestic beer. It's easier. You could get it in most little quick stops and cheaper.
Any particular brand?
Bud Light, Miller Lite, yeah.
Yeah, they usually always have the deals on the pitchers. With the domestic over the imported, you usually pay a little bit more for the imported stuff. So bonus. So there we have it. Let's see. We talked about a couple things. We got anything live on the Facebook there, Dustin? Or
Yeah, actually, Rich, he added one to the lightning round. He said, Bojangles or Waffle House for breakfast?
Bojangles every time.
He said, you're a good North Carolina man, after all.
yeah, there you go. Man, I never ate at a Bojangles, so I really can't comment there. But man, I really do dig some Waffle House every once in a while. Every once in a while, a Waffle House is.
Well, it depends. If it's breakfast as like 7 a.m., it's Bojangles, but at breakfast at like 1 a.m. Waffle House.
I think we've had a few of those, those beverages that we were just talking about. If we're going it, I'm like, can you build a case for this?
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that custom-made cases. I don't know. Maybe I got a 50 BMG Barrett, or maybe I just got a Frankenstein of a rifle or a bolt-action sniper rifle. Can you do a whole custom deal, and what's that all about?
Well, cases, aluminum cases you can, but I mean, you really want to stay away from aluminum fabricated cases. One, you're going to have problems with rust. You take one big impact, and the integrity of the case is not the same. But I get this question a lot. Over through the years, I've had people contact me that, hey, I've got a 50 or I've got a 82A1, a Barrett 82A1 that I don't want to break down. I want to put it in a case. Well, I want a Ferrari for $5. It's just not going to happen. The reason why is because these cases that you see everywhere are made out of steel molds. They're precision milled to match what what the product's going to look like. So in these steel molds, some of the R&D in it and the building themselves and everything, I've seen them go up upwards of $300,000. So a case that's 60 inches long, that's going to house, say, the 82A1 or the AR-50 national match, something like that, you're looking at a $400,000 investment that you're not going to get that money back as a manufacturer. I mean, there's just not that many people out there that are going to buy it. So what you see out there now is kind of what you get. One of the things is some of the gun manufacturers, the builders, need to kind of they should build their rifles based on being able to take them from one place to the other. I mean, you can functionally build a rifle as long as a pickup truck, but how are you going to get it from point A to point B? So we've actually had that happen over the years numerous times where manufacturer will put a lot of money into a product and build it, and then 2 months, 3 months before the launch of the product, they contact me and say, "Hey, Brack, we need a custom case for our XYZ rifle," and then you have to tell them that, hey, that muzzle brake either got to come off, or we've got to make some sort of you got to take the buttstock off because it's not going to fit in any case. So the whole manufacturing process of injection molding, it's a whole deal. It's not like we take a piece of Play-Doh and stamp it together and then you've got what you've got. It's very expensive to make injection molds. And the whole process of it's very, if you've never seen it before, it's very, very interesting. But it's a huge undertaking. Capital expenditures, extreme amount of money that you have to put up in order to before you get the first part made.
Talking about those $4,000 guns in the case, John, and we kind of touched on it. He said, any recommendations for any locks?
Not really. I mean, you've got different types of TSA locks. Master lock makes different, but basically anything that I prefer a combination lock because you can remember the combination. Keyed locks, if you lose your key, then you got to go buy bolt cutters. So, locks are expensive, but I'd just say any type of combination lock would work best. And I really recommend. One of the other reasons why I think it's important for you to get, for anybody that owns firearms, whether it's pistols, and I don't even care if it's a high point or whatever, no black, bash on them, but I mean, it's still dangerous. I mean, it's it's an item that you don't want kids to stumble upon and get curious and mess with, obviously. So I think it's important for any firearm owner to take it seriously. To invest into a nice case that is lockable, that will at least keep somebody out, for 30 minutes or an hour, so they don't stumble upon it and then open it up or crack it open real quick, and now you got something that could be a tragedy. So I think it's responsible ownership, but you're protecting your items too, so it's a win-win. And like Anthony said, you buy it once, you buy it right, and you can have multiple uses for cases. I sometimes like we're going out to shot, which I've been to 20 different shots, and NRA coming up again. Sometimes I will take foam out of a rifle case and put my clothes in it. So I use it as luggage. So
yeah.
There's many different uses. So like I said, I think for just a responsible thing to do for a gun owner is to buy a lockable case that's secure to keep kids away.
Now, did you give away just a secret that's going to be the new NRA thing? Is going to be the new Patriot Case luggage series?
We do sell a number amount of cases, not necessarily the rifle case, but there are some transport cases that we carry that are like 30 inches long, 18 inches wide, 14 inches deep. It basically looks like a piece of luggage. And in fact, if you go look at some of the place like Samsonite and some of the other, it's less expensive. And, it's a hard case, airtight, watertight, the whole 9 yards. So it's going to last far longer than some of these Samsonites and some other luggage that's $300 or $400. And that you really, you can buy an item out on vacation and put it in your suitcase, and then it's crushed when you get back. So, we actually have a number of people that do buy them for luggage.
Yeah. I needed that when I went to Mexico, man. My luggage came back torn up.
Yeah, and that's expensive too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like we mentioned, SHOT Show or NRA. There's a lot of media personnel and photographers that go out there. You guys want to, you got a $2,000 camera or whatever it is. I know those cameras get really high up there.
That could be a lens.
You buy one of these cases and you fit your camera in there just like you would a firearm. So you got your microphone, your camera, your wires all in one case, and you don't have to worry about carrying on, or because even on the carry-on spaces, people are you always see that one guy trying to bang in his luggage to try to fit it up there. And, it's really not protected up there neither. So if you really want to, put your camera in something, you can have the folks over at Patriot Cases either custom cut it, or you can cut it yourself, or whatever the deal is. That's another use you can throw those cases for. As for locks, he did recommend a combination lock. If you don't need a TSSA approved lock, I actually ran, this is last minute as my case was, but I ran out to Dollar General and picked up some key to like 4 of these. So I had like 4 keys that were all, lock them all. This worked for me in my case. I don't know, guard security, it was like $4. I don't know if you guys want to be a cheap boat like I was and only spend $4 on your padlocks, but heck, it did the job, and it came back, all in one piece, all in one shot. So another recommendation there. So we're coming up on the last couple of minutes here. We're going to do the conclusion here in a little bit, but I got one more question here for you. Any upcoming products that you want to talk about, or any future additions to the website you want to add?
We do have a number of products I'm working on. Basically, we're working on some stuff right now. I've made some kits up, changed it up, really didn't like the way it looked, so we're kind of working at something else. But next up is multiple pistol cases that'll accommodate multiple mags and hearing protection, eyeglasses, everything else, more of a range case, so to say, and a 2-pistol case, and then setups with different layers as well. Basically, the stuff that we're coming out with now are involve pistols, for range stuff, some stuff for the ladies coming up, and for the shooters, we're working a little bit. We're looking at trying to bring in some. I do a lot of work with some of the guys down in Bragg, and we do the same thing like with the 3-gun kits. We don't cut the shotgun down in vertically, but we do the interiors for the lid, and they'll put drag bags in the lid, or shooting mats, or whatever else. So we're looking at bringing in some of those soft goods as well. So rather than having to go, obviously, they're not going to be the quality of a Safari Land or whatnot, but working with some companies right now that are mainly, more geared toward military gear, made in the USA stuff, which the level of quality is through the roof. High-speed gear, I'll give them a shout out. They're here in Jacksonville, Swansboro, Havelock area, and basically trying to bring some soft goods in, and just like Anthony, for your case, instead of having to go out to another place and get a soft bag for mags and whatnot for your pistol case for the lid, we're talking about bringing in some stuff here, so it's kind of a one-stop shop for all your case needs.
Oh, very nice. And you guys can browse the website and take a look at all the stuff we mentioned here on the show. That'll be patriotcases.net. You can check it out, or you can go over to Patriot Cases Facebook page. If you guys are big on the Facebook, you guys can shoot a message from Patriot Cases directly to Barack and get some of your questions answered, or if you guys want to just make that direct purchase and initial contact through Facebook, you can go over there. So go over there and give them a like over at Patriot Cases Facebook page. They do giveaways quite often, so if you guys want to get, if you guys aren't lucky enough to win the AR case today on today's show, you guys can, I think at 10,000 likes, you're giving away another one or something like that, or?
We normally will give away a free case every 1,000. So we had a big push last week. We were I think we got up 1,300 likes last week.
There you go.
So and we trying to work together with a number of companies. We got some other stuff coming up that I really can't disclose. Again, it's like one of those deals that kind of still working on under wraps, but going to have a few big projects coming up and some big giveaways that we're involved with other companies, and some stuff that you'll see in some major publications coming out here in the next month or two. So a lot of exciting things growing up for the infancy of the company. been doing it 20 years, but with our family, with a former family company, basically, and now got it on my own in the last year and doing things my way and the right way, I like to say. So things are really exciting and are going in the right direction.
Very nice. There you have it. Let's chalk it down here to get into shout outs. This is gonna be the last call for giveaway entries. Once again, real quick to repeat it, 2 AR cases from patriotcases.net. Ran TLP, a 2-ounce bottle of that. We got a T-shirt, a decal coming from theshootersource.com, and I was able to get it, snatch it from the counter. You get a brand new copy of Training to Win from Ben Stoger, national champion. You can also check out if you guys may be looking for some gear for your firearms, maybe some base pads and stuff like that. You can go to the benstogerproshop.com and get some gear there, and also check out the Shooter Source because you can get some of the stuff there as well. Dustin, what do you have as far as shout outs and
Just thanks for coming on, man. So I got Springfield Armory, as always, Animal Customs, AP Customs, Black Rain Ordnance, Patriot Supply USA, BBI, Pro Ears, Comtech, Greg Skaz Photography, Shooter Ready USA, some big stuff coming up there soon, Adams Arms, Red Roof Inn, Gun Up Magazine, and What You Say.
What You Say, Red Roof Inn.
What's up? I might be there at Indiana for the NRA show, so I will see you there.
Very nice. Barack, what do you have as far as shout outs? Any guys that support you and your website and your company?
You know, just a lot of guys, a lot of manufacturers we deal with. Really too many to give, but just a few. You know, we'll say Barnes Precision. Big shout out to Hodge Defense, War Sport, Battle Comp, P&W Arms. Gosh, we could get down the line. There's a lot of guys. AP Customs. Double Star, Seekins, Black Rain, GA Precision, my guys at DTA, and Armalite, Surgeon, and McMillan.
There you go. Very nice little group of companies there. Dustin, what base pad are you holding up there?
It's a new little thing that you might see it first here.
Yeah, well, that's the Foxbeard Tactical, man.
It's the AP Customs Foxbeard. It was a partnership that we kind of went into, and this is just the first of many. There's only a handful of these bad boys out there right now, and this is not the extended one, but many more goodies coming through, and that's why I was talking to Jeremy and Aaron this morning, and picking up some goodies and all our new rail systems coming out. And that's when he was like, "Oh, what do you got on the show for tonight?" And I told him who, and he was like, "Yeah, might have to get on and harass that guy, but I don't think either one of them. They're probably busy at work and making rails and goodies." So,
Yeah.
But they definitely they talked all good things, and they're pretty excited for the new goodies coming out. We'll just say that. Leave it a general term. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I know the folks quite well. Foxbeard Tactical dudes. So there's still prototypes out there like Dustin's holding up, but we'll get into those a little bit later. But announcements on my side. The podcast has moved over to the Firearms Radio Network, which is firearmsradio.tv. You guys can go over there and check out multiple shows: Gun Guy Radio, Gun Girl Radio, Practically Tactical, which our special co-host Kelly Samsel was being interviewed on a show just like this one, which is called Practically Tactical, and she was over there, so she couldn't join us. So she was kind of becoming a big deal and being the guest on other people's shows, so she couldn't make it here. Also, we want to give a shout out to patriotcases.net and Barack for coming on and kind of putting up with my late tardiness this night. Let's do RANCLP, that's rangegrams.com, theshootersource.com, and the StuggerProShop.com. I got those shout outs. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That might be right below the video. You can just hit subscribe. We do a show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a guest. What do we know? We got something good in the works with Dustin and Kelly. We got a firearms manufacturer coming in. Some of the CEOs and general managers of that firearms manufacturer is going to come on next week. So that'll be a good one. Well, stay tuned to the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page for more updates on that for next week's show. And I think I'm probably forgetting a couple things. AnimalCustoms.com, wanted to give them a little shout. Definitely wanted to give a shout out to Terran Tactical Innovations, Terran Butler, for this bad boy right here.
Go get it dirty. That's what you got to go do. Go get it dirty. Get a few scratches on it.
Man, I don't know.
Break it in.
You can even see that. Look at that bolt carrier group. Oh, it's like a gold, bronzish. Yeah, it smells new. It's all good. That's so TTI, TerranTacticalInnovations.com. That's going to do it for the show today. Last minute entries are going to end here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 33 of the Shooter's Mindset with PatriotCases.net, and we are out.
Thanks, guys.